Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the official launch of the ARC Training Centre for the Global Hydrogen Economy. In the scientific community, and especially in the sustainability space in which we work, protecting the planet for the future generations is the cornerstone of the work that we do. Similarly, local Aboriginal people have used their knowledge, gained over centuries of empirical observations, adaptation, and innovation, transmitted over generations to live abundantly and sustainably. Unlike modern-day researchers, however, First Nations people have applied these practices for over 65,000 years, meaning that they are not only the oldest culture in the world, but also the oldest scientists. It is through the enduring legacy of First Nations people and their compassion and connection to country that we continue a dialogue about sustainability and apply these ideas so that we can all tread more lightly on this planet. I would like to thank and pay respect to their ancestors and elders, past and present, and acknowledge that through honouring country, we also honour their timeless connection to our country. My name is Emma Lovell. I'm a senior lecturer in the School of Chemical Engineering at UNSW and also have the honour of being a chief investigator in the ARC Training Centre for the Global Hydrogen Economy. It is my great pleasure to be the MC for today's event, the official launch of our training centre dedicated to leading the future of the global hydrogen economy. We're grateful today to be launching our training centre in the Michael Crouch Innovation Centre, the MCIC. The MCIC is the home of UNSW founders, a hub for entrepreneurs, innovators, and makers, making it the perfect space for us to meet today and launch our centre. A big thank you to UNSW founders and Gregory for allowing us to host our event here today. I would also like to thank everyone who's been able to join us today, both in person and online. Many of you have travelled both overseas and internationally. And it's because of the commitment of all of the people in the room today that our training centre has already been a great success. For the official welcome and to provide opening remarks, I would like to welcome President and Vice Chancellor of UNSW, Professor Attila Brunks.
Thank you kindly for your warm welcome. And a very warm welcome to you all. It's wonderful to have you here. So many honoured guests. Thank you very much for coming. So many of our wonderful early career academics and so many research leaders from across UNSW and across the country on such an important event. It is my absolute great pleasure to be here today to launch the ARC Industrial Transformation Training Centre for Global Hydrogen Economy, or slightly shorter, the GlobH2E. It is one of the most unique launches I've actually attended in the last year that I've been here at UNSW, because this centre, while we're launching it today, actually began its operations in June last year and has a swathe of incredible achievements under its belt already. So it's not often that you get to highlight at a launch so many wonderful goals that have already been achieved, because often when you talk about some of the big aspirations we have, we talk about aspirations. Today we not only have these aspirations, but we can see on the ground evidence of how these aspirations have already changed society. You've got some of the world's leading hydrogen researchers, directors and chief investigators, a brilliant cohort of industry-focused early career researchers. You've already built mighty partnerships. Of course, you've got the world-leading co-directors in Rose and Francois. You've got 20 chief investigators across 6 Australian universities: UQ, the University of Newcastle, University of Sydney, Curtin University, Monash University, and of course UNSW. We've got 17 partner investigators from overseas institutions and 15 industry partners, including some of the very biggest hitters in the energy and heavy industry sectors, such as Origin Energy and the Hansner Group from Indonesia. This collaboration is the rock-solid foundation for the vision that this centre has of transforming Australia's industry into a hydrogen powerhouse. And as I said, it's already well on its way. You've reached your Year 1 recruitment goal with 8 PhD students and 3 postdoctoral researchers. You've released 3 reports into the feasibility of high supply partnership between Australia and Germany. And I was very pleased to see the high supply delegation in May, I think it was, with UNSW and the German Minister of Education and Research. You're part of the Australia Trailblazer Recycling and Clean Energy Initiative that UNSW is leading with partnership in Newcastle. And again, with the University of Newcastle, the researchers here at UNSW are academic leads for the New South Wales Decarbonisation Innovation Hub and driving the Power Fuel Hydrogen Network, all part of the New South Wales Government Net Zero Industry and Innovation Program. Importantly, of course, all these projects are enabling our early career researchers to contribute to and to lead large-scale and high-potential research with advanced technology in partnerships with people around the country and with industry that will transform industry and give Australia the competitive advantage we need. Our early career researchers are developing critical skills in engineering, research, business, developing networks that will advance the sustainable, robust and global hydrogen economy. And that's one of the reasons why I love particularly all ARC centres, of course, but I love the training centres so much. And I remember many years ago when I was on the board of the ARC and we were developing the training centres at the time, for me I thought this was one of the seminal shifts for Australia, making sure that we really focus on not just the wonderful technology that can transform society, but importantly building the capacity in Australia to enable that transformation to happen today, tomorrow and many, many years in the future. For those of you who have heard me speak before, I often call innovation a people sport, which has meant that people-to-people interaction, how we work with each other, is a key driver for transformation and innovation. And GlobH2E is an absolute beacon in this, with a drive to nurture early career researchers and build capabilities and capacity that will benefit Australia and the world in the long term. UNSW is very proud to host this centre because not only does GlobH2E demonstrate our credentials in hydrogen and renewable research, it also runs absolutely seamlessly aligned with our broader strategic vision. Now, we're fortunate to have great groundbreakers like Professor Rosa Mail here that drive, and with many others, that drive our overall strategic vision of having a positive impact in the world. Again, for those of you who've heard me speak before, universities are simple. We are public institutions that exist broadly for public good. Easy to say, very hard to do. But this centre is one of the examples of how we're actually achieving it. Through research excellence and commercialisation to build sovereign capacity. Through innovations in sustainability, such as supporting the world's transition to renewable energy. And you heard in the video how important it is to get that quick and painlessly as possible. And of course, through strong partnerships with industry, university and government. So as you can tell from the enthusiasm in my voice, it's a real excitement for me to be here today to launch GlobH2E. An honour to host you all, and I'm just delighted, maybe there's a bell or something, is there a bell? That I officially launched this centre, ding ding, okay, and I wish you all the very, very best luck. Thank you for your incredible achievements so far, and I look forward to seeing the amazing achievements that will come out of this centre in the future. Thank you all.
Thank you, Professor Brungs. Research absolutely is a people-to-people sport, and I think it's a testament to how well our training centre is doing with all of the people that we have here today. Next up, we're honoured to have the ARC Executive Director for Biological Sciences and Biotechnology, Dr. Mary Kelly, here with us today to provide insights into the ARC Industry Transformation Research Program. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Kelly.
Thank you, Emma, and thank you, Vice-Chancellor, for such a great start to the event. As Emma said, my name is Mary Kelly, and I would just like to acknowledge the traditional custodians on this land, as Emma has done, the Bidjigal peoples, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging as the true and continuous leaders of the knowledge. Senator, the Honourable Anthony Chisholm, thank you for joining us here today, and for all the universities and the partners that are represented here today. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. The training centre, and I have to join Vice-Chancellor in saying I do have a special love and affiliation for the training centre because it is our future capacity. Research excellence is at the pinnacle of everything that the ARC chooses to support. The success of this centre is testament to the research excellence that is here. But we can't have a cliff edge where we have excellent research, but we don't have a pipeline of talent. And so just this morning, looking at the posters, speaking to some of the students that are here, it's nothing short of inspirational. It's fantastic. It makes me feel a little bit old because I think about the limited opportunities that many of us had when we did our PhDs, and just listening to the students speak across disciplines, across topics, is absolutely fantastic. Some of you will be aware that the ARC strategy for 2022 to 2025 has set out our vision and ambition right through to 2030 in the longer term. The aim is, of course, to continue to identify and support world-class research and innovation for the advancement of Australian society. And this will remain at the forefront of our strategic thinking and actions. And when I was finishing my speech and reviewing it this morning, I have written, and what better example than this training centre? It shows the research excellence, it shows that innovation. The Australian Research Council has a number of review activities underway at the moment, and that's to ensure that we continue to align with not just the needs of the research sector, but the needs of our extended networks, our research partners from many different sectors that are represented here today. The Industrial Transformation Research Programme, of course, has research hubs and has training centres such as GlobH2E, to ensure that we increase collaboration between our most innovative researchers and industry vital to Australia's future. The Australian universities that are represented here all have a proven and a natural affiliation to that collaboration approach, and they are all examples here today, and the projects demonstrate it, of genuine two-directional collaboration. So it's not about university having an idea and industry being interested. It's about these being co-designed, genuine industry problems and societal problems that we're aiming to solve through centres such as this one. I also have to agree, Vice-Chancellor, with you that having launches 12 months in enables us to have this type of showcase. It is not just talking about prospective work, but of course the training centre 12, 15 months in also has a very long list of exceptional projects that you'll continue to work on and more recruitment to do. The centre has enjoyed success already, and I would just like to acknowledge that that is the pride of everyone involved. The students, the researchers, the research leaders, but also the professional staff that underpin the operation of a centre and a network this large. And you've certainly moved forward in leaps and bounds. The Australian research funding was $5 million over 5 years, but we are part of a puzzle. And the first level of that is our contribution to the training centre, which has been strongly supported by other investment from the university partners and the industry partners. But then you've continued to extend that network. And I think one of the most exciting things about the training centre this morning is that you have already started to build the career paths for the students that you are training. I look forward to staying in touch, hearing more about what this centre will achieve. But for the moment, thank you for your time listening to me and my reflections on it. But it's my pleasure to introduce the Assistant Minister for Education, Senator the Honourable Anthony Chisholm. Thank you.
Thanks, Dr. Kelly, and it's a pleasure to be here today. I thank Dr. Lavelle for the acknowledgement of country that you did, which was a fantastic one, I thought, by the way. And I too wanted to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather, the Bidjigal people, and pay my respects to elders past and present. I'd also like to acknowledge Professor Brungs. Thanks for your invitation to be here today, Professor Amal and Professor Kondo, and other distinguished guests and representatives from industry as well. I'm delighted to be here today to help with the official launch of the Australian Research Council Training Centre for Global Hydrogen Economy, or GlobH2E. Research enriches our lives by driving innovations in technology that enhance and sometimes transform the way we live and work. The Australian Government recognises the value of research and continues to invest public funds into the growth and development of Australia's world-class research system. The Government also recognised that the Australian Research Council plays a key role in facilitating world-class Australian research. The ARC fosters collaboration between Australia's researchers, business and industry, encouraging sharing of skills and ideas to provide the competitive advantages that strengthen of the Australian economy. The ARC Industrial Transformation Training Centres facilitate research partnerships with university-based researchers and those in industry, focused on strategic outcomes which would not otherwise be achieved independently. Training centres also provide a higher degree by research and postdoctoral training for industries vital to shaping Australia's future. This is the third ARC I've helped launch in the 6 months I have been in this role. The first one was about protein and peptide science at the University of Queensland. The second one was at UTS, involving nutrients in a circular economy, which was basically turning recycled urine into nutrients that would help with growing crops. And today, the Training Centre for Global Hydrogen Economy. This is the first one that I feel confident I have some knowledge of. And that is because I think there is high expectations around the hydrogen industry, solving future challenges, as Dr. Lavelle mentioned at the start. I spend a lot of my time in central Queensland, and I know from my regular travels through that part of the world that the hope for future jobs and industry that hydrogen provides that region, which has traditionally built its wealth on coal over the last 50 or 60 years. And there's many other regions across the country that have similar aspirations. So I think this is an important training centre for those expectations or hopes so that they can be met for those regional economies. It will hopefully bridge that gap between talk hope and reality of jobs and industry being created. And it's vitally important for that expectation to be met, particularly during what is economically challenging times in many parts of the world. The ARC Training Centre is one of 5 ARC Industrial Transformation Training Centres that were awarded a total of $24.3 million in funding for the 2020 round. The ARC Training Centre for GlobH2E commenced in 2021 and is receiving $4.9 million in ARC funding over 5 years, as well as $3.3 million in cash and $6.6 million in kind contributions from participating organisations. The new jobs it can create, the new industries, particularly in manufacturing, as well as the export opportunities for these regions. Our government knows that Australia is well placed to seize these opportunities and know we need to work with all sectors of the economy to do this: industry, workers and universities. The ARC Training Centre is a great example of this, and the research team at GlobH2E are aiming to support Australia's transformation into a world-leading hydrogen powerhouse through industry collaboration and developing new research-based engineering and business skills. It is anticipated that the research outcomes of this training centre will generate new technologies and equip a future Australian workforce. The future holds industry-focused engineers with advanced skills for development and scaling up of hydrogen generation and transport. Since its commencement, the ARC Training Centre has reached many outstanding milestones. These include the development of several programs and initiatives facilitated by industry and academic experts, and lectures addressing the topic of the hydrogen value chain. GlobH2E chief investigators, together with Deloitte Australia, were awarded a Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade grant to carry out a feasibility study for renewable hydrogen export from Australia to Germany. And these reports have already been published about this. In October 2021, the Centre hosted a well-attended 3-day virtual Energy Future conference with themes centred on emerging technologies across hydrogen value chains. These achievements are no small feat, so well done to the GlobH2E team. A significant role of ARC Industrial Transformation Training Centres is to expand Australia's research capacity. Part of this includes training and mentoring the next generations of researchers, which is vitally important. The ARC Training Centre for GlobH2E has attracted 21 chief investigators, 19 partner investigators, 3 postdoctoral researchers, 7 PhD students, 2 professional staff, 12 associate PhD students, and 2 associated postdoctoral researchers. I look forward to hearing about the GlobH2E's Training Centre's research journey and outcomes over coming years. Before I conclude, I just wanted to touch on the government's ARC review and university accord process. This government values the role universities play, and the accord led by Professor O'Kane is an opportunity to look at everything from funding and access to affordability, transparency, regulation, employment conditions, and how higher education and vocational education and training can and should work together. Minister Clare will chair a ministerial reference group to ensure we hear from a wide range of viewpoints. An interim report will be provided to government in June next year, and with final report due in December 2023. We want to be a government that works with universities together to make sure we are delivering for everyone. For the review of the ARC, the terms of reference are broad. It will look at the role and purpose of the ARC within our research system so it can meet current and future needs and maintain the trust of the research sector. It is being led by Vice-Chancellor of the Queensland University of Technology, Professor Shield, and will report by the end of March 2023. It's a busy time to be involved in higher education with numerous challenges, but be assured you have a federal government that wants to work with the sector to find solutions to these challenges. Finally, it's been an honour to be here today. It is my pleasure to help officially launch the ARC Training Centre for the global hydrogen economy, and I wish you all the best in your future endeavours. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Kelly and Senator Chisholm. It is now my great pleasure to invite Senator Chisholm and Vice-Chancellor Professor Brungs onto the stage to unveil the plaque and officially launch our centre. I would also like to invite Dr. Kelly and Training Centre's co-directors Professor Amal and Agui Zinzo up on the stage as well. I have to go this way, sorry.
We don't have plaques before.
No, we didn't.
Thank you, that's right. Excellent.
Thank you. I would now like to welcome Training Centre Co-Director, Scientia Professor Rose Amal, to provide an update on the current progress of the Training Centre.
Thank you very much, Emma, and distinguished guests, colleagues, partners, associates, and friends. A very good morning to you all, and thank you for joining us today. Actually, the idea for establishing a centre focused on hydrogen was born out of conversations with my colleague Francois Acquazinzo many years ago, in 2019 early. We both saw the opportunities and the need to build critical mass for hydrogen research in Australia. At that time, Australia has already been identified as a potential giant exporter of hydrogen due to our abundant renewable energy capacity. And according to a study conducted back then by ARENA, that the demand of hydrogen exported from Australia could be over 3 million tonnes each year by 2040, and that could worth about $10 billion. However, technologies were not there yet, and technologies are not there yet. So research is critical to enable the production of hydrogen from renewable origins at cost. We felt that if Australia was to be truly able to compete in a global hydrogen economy, we needed to invest in building the nation capacity and capability in this area. Therefore, Francois and I brought together 18 other chief investigators who have complementary expertise to work with us. They are from Australian universities, from, as already Professor Brungs mentioned, UNSW, UQ, University of Sydney, University of Newcastle, Curtin University, and Monash University. In addition to the local university, we also partnered with 4 overseas institutions and 15 local and international companies in pursuing our collective vision. So, our vision is to be an innovative research training center to build capacity and capability for safe and sustainable hydrogen economy. And our missions are to train a future generation of industry-focused researchers to undertake research into technology that will contribute to delivering a competitive advantage to Australia on the global market, to educate and disseminate hydrogen technology and its safe use, to enable cross-institutions industry, university, government research collaborations, and reduce the risk associated with hydrogen technologies so early adopters are able to benefit. In terms of our research activities, we focus on 5 key themes. The first 2 center on the production, storage, and utilization of hydrogen. The third focuses on developing the right safety systems and controls to adopt across the whole supply chain. And the final 2 consider the business models and value chain, and social acceptance and the skills the hydrogen industry and the broader community will require in a hydrogen economy. Although the training center focuses on building capacity and capability, indirectly the proposed research activities of the center will benefit Australia in many other ways. The IP in new materials, catalysts, and technologies will benefit Australia's economy and will also build the foundation for a whole new industry associated with hydrogen technologies, from hydrogen plumbers to new finance sectors, sort of building local jobs to support global needs. Our developed technologies will reduce carbon emissions, helping Australia to meet its commitments to cut the emission by 43% below 2005 levels by 2030 and to be net zero by 2050. Technologies we develop in the center will particularly be critical for those hard-to-abate industries such as ammonia industry, iron, steel, aluminium, and sustainable aviation fuel. As our Vice Chancellor indicated, already we have begun our collaboration with industry and making good progress towards achieving our vision for the center. We'd like to say that we are punching above our weight. To name a few, the project that led by the investigator from University of New South Wales, our PhD students are fabricating new catalysts to develop not just more efficient electrolyzer, but also utilizes less critical minerals. Our chief investigators from UQ, one of the postdoctoral fellows, is working with Geotech Limited, who are here today to develop economical viable carbon dioxide utilization through hydrogenations into value-added fuels such as methanol. We are working with Origin Energy on a feasibility study into hydrogen refueling station for its economic handling and distribution from renewable hydrogen hubs. Our PhD students and chief investigators are working with Hasno Group, an Indonesian conglomerate company, to explore the viability of hydrogen production, incorporate carbon capture utilization and storage for port operation. During the networking lunch later on, you will have the chance to speak with some of our PhD students and postdocs and to view the poster of their work. We believe collaboration is a key to success. Our chief investigators are actively involved in collaborating with other relevant centers and hubs. For example, Professor Peter Ashworth, our team leaders for the social acceptance and transfer of skill, is involved in Future Fuel CRC, while Professor Craig Buckley from Curtin University is involved in the Future Energy Export CRC. We also work very closely with other ARC hubs and centers, and for example, ARC Research Hub for Integrated Energy Storage Solution, led by Professor Jai Bao. With that center, we integrate hydrogen and other power fuel technology as a solution for more sustainable, reliable, and economical energy storage systems. And the members of the centers, as well as the industry members, are here today as well to support our launch. I would like to use this opportunity to thank ARC and Australian government for the funding, and also to thank my colleagues, all the chief investigators, partner investigators, and all the partner organizations for your support. Without your inputs, we do not have this center. I look forward to continue working with you in building capacity and capability to train our future hydrogen research leaders to develop emerging and sustainable and safe technology for hydrogen economy. I would also like to thank Dr. Mandalana Hembawan, our center manager. As what Dr. Mary Kelly said, the professional staff is critical to the success of the centers. She has been extremely instrumental for the smooth running of the center's operation, from the recruitment of the staff, students, through to financial matters, and also organizing this event today. I'd like to thank her and also the team for put together this event. To end, I would like to leave you with a slogan that is coined by my colleague, Professor Ian McGill and Dr. Raman Dayan, which I modified slightly to suit today's event. A global hydrogen economy, much to be optimistic about, but much, much more to be done. Thank you for listening, and once again, thank you for being here and supporting us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rose. It's great to hear about GlobH2E all the way from conception now to where we are today in building capacity and capability to train the future hydrogen leaders of Australia and internationally. The Office of the New South Wales Chief Scientist and Engineer consults widely with academia, industry, and government to ensure scientific knowledge and research can be adapted and used to benefit the people, environment, industry, and the economy of New South Wales. To provide an overview of their R&D investment, I would now like to welcome Deputy New South Wales Chief Scientist, Dr. Jacqueline Adelhoven.
Thank you so much, Senator Chisholm, Vice-Chancellor, Dr. Kelly, Rose, Francois, members of the Centre and guests. It's great to be here today at the launch of the ARC Training Centre for the Global Hydrogen Economy. This centre and its activities to develop the skills and innovations required for the transition to renewable energy is strongly aligned with the goals of the New South Wales Government, including the New South Wales 20-year R&D roadmap, the hydrogen strategy within the Net Zero plan. The R&D roadmap released in May this year sets out a long-term strategy to turn our already strong and emerging R&D capabilities into world-leading industries and jobs for future generations. In the roadmap, technology applications such as renewable generation, energy storage, sustainable fuels, Power-to-X were identified as competitive advantages for New South Wales, and centres such as this are important component to growing this advantage. Following the release of the roadmap, the New South Wales Government made an unprecedented 4-year investment in R&D and innovation with the new Future Economy Fund. The fund is aimed at the full life cycle of innovation from R&D to commercialisation in priority sectors and is designed to drive productivity in future industries such as digital technology, medical technology and the clean economy, with programs soon to be announced. Alongside the roadmap, the state's Net Zero plan is supporting a range of initiatives targeting clean energy projects and industries. Under the plan, the Net Zero Industry and Innovation Program will provide more than $1 billion to support industry and research partners move towards net zero. The focus of the program is clean tech innovation, and this is guided by our office's Decarbonisation Innovation Study, with power fuels and hydrogen one of the top 3 priorities. Last year, the New South Wales Hydrogen Strategy was released. Through this strategy, New South Wales will provide up to $3 billion in incentives to support the development of the hydrogen industry and aim to attract more than $80 billion of investment. Along with this, the Hydrogen Hubs for New South Wales program and Interstate Hume Hydrogen Highway initiative will help create the framework and commercial projects needed to maximise these opportunities. Our office is actively engaged with universities, industry experts and researchers to support R&D in hydrogen and Power-to-X. Under our Research Attraction and Acceleration program, the office provides co-funding to ARC centres, training hubs and major programs located in New South Wales, including this ARC Training Centre. To provide evidence-based advice to policymakers and industry, the office commissioned a number of Power-to-X studies, which are industry pre-feasibility and feasibility studies delivering techno-economic analysis of New South Wales' capability and capacity to deploy P2X hubs and develop future industries. The first P2X study provides a roadmap and business case for investment. 2 more P2X studies are underway to quantify local production and export opportunities, which will be released early next year. Finally, our office is overseeing the establishment of the New South Wales Decarbonisation Innovation Hub, a $15 million initiative to support a mature and collaborative decarbonisation innovation community in New South Wales to develop, commercialise and deploy clean tech. One of the hub's 3 networks, led by Rose, focuses on power fuels and hydrogen. So that might have been somewhat of a journey through the myriad of ways that New South Wales is supporting the energy transition. But the fundamental story is that New South Wales has a strong commitment to supporting the energy transition, and this transition is going to require deploying a wide range of new technology. But perhaps most importantly, a well-trained workforce for doing that. And it's this training centre that will train the leaders of the workforce. So with that in mind, I wish Rose and Francois and the rest of the team success, and I'm looking forward to checking out the showcase. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Adelhoven. It's great to hear about all the wonderful work that New South Wales is doing to lead the transition to a more sustainable future. To provide closing remarks, I would now like to welcome Training Centre Co-Director, Professor Francois Aguizinzo from the University of Sydney.
Thank you, Emma. I'm not going to make a long speech, but what I would like to say is that this is a team effort. This has been a team effort, and I would like to thank all the people when we came up initially with the idea who supported us, Rose and myself, our industry partner, the RC, the Australian government, for supporting that broad vision of a global training center on the hydrogen economy. Like you all know, hydrogen is a big talk across the planet. There is a lot to be done. It's an industry that is not mature, and it's very important that Australia is placed also in that position. And we look forward to work with our community and more industry partners to enable that for the country. On those last words, I would like to thank you again for coming here today, and hope you enjoy the refreshment, and see you around.
Thank you, Francois. A big thank you to all of you for attending and joining us here today to celebrate the official launch, finally, of the ARC Training Centre for the Global Hydrogen Economy. From now until 1 p.m, we will have the opportunity to enjoy lunch and to learn from one another. You can see outside some of the exceptional research that's already been undertaken by the training centre. So I encourage you to use this time to walk around, get to know our researchers, and learn about some of the work that's been done already. To all of our valued CIs and PIs in the training centre, I would like to invite you all to gather outside in the lobby at 12:50 so that we can take a group photo on the alumni steps. Thank you all, and please enjoy.